So, in my STEM research, I found a list from US News and World Report for 2022, and it had the top 10 up and coming or currently very popular STEM careers and their growth potential. So, two of the ones that interested me that I found fascinating that were on the list because I guess I didn't think of them this way. Number two was a nurse practitioner. And number three was a physician assistant. So we all think of doctors and nurses, but it's not very often that we think about the other ones that are kind of in between being a nurse practitioner or a physician assistant. So both require master's degrees. A nurse practitioner, she or he must be already have a bachelor's and be a registered nurse, so an RN, and then they can get their master's and become an advanced practice registered nurse. And they basically do a lot of the same things that a physician does. They usually work under a physician, but they can take care of patients, prescribe medicine, order labs, all sorts of stuff. Physician assistant is somewhat similar. They have to have a master's. They, again, have a lot of the same roles as physicians. So, according to US News and World Report, the job market is just wide open for them. And I guess I could understand that with the whole COVID epidemic. We've really learned a lot about our medical system in the United States, and a lot of people have quit. So basically, as you can probably imagine, in the STEM careers, women and minorities are underrepresented. And there was a study done that talked about the solutions. What the women and minorities who are in STEM careers, in the study, they asked them what influenced them to become whatever it was. And the biggest thing was that they all had mentors of either their same gender or ethnicity who were already in a STEM field, and that inspired them. So, on that note, I think we can take note of that as teachers, which I will talk about in a moment. So, a couple other careers besides the nursing and the physician assistant were also mentioned that we could talk about in our classroom, and I have some ideas for that. Were the medical and health services managers. So again, the medical field's big. Besides just being a doctor or a nurse, there's lots of other things you can do. You only need a bachelor's for it. And then something else this was the next one that I'm about to say was number one on the US News and World Report list, was an information security analyst. Cybersecurity is big. I mean, as we know, our whole world is run by the internet. And so we all know what can happen if we don't have security. So as teachers, what can we do about this? What's our takeaway? So I think this emphasizes the fact that as teachers, even on the elementary level, we can do more than just teach reading, writing, and arithmetic, so to speak. We can give these kids ideas for future careers. So we can, if we get into a subject like we're talking about health and body systems, talk about nurse practitioners, physician assistants, medical and health services managers, people that run the hospitals. Maybe have some of those, if you can connect with some of these people, have some come in, have some women come in who do this, have some minorities come in, especially taking note of what minorities you may have in your classroom. If you could match that. So maybe have a Black woman who is an information security analyst. Have her come in and just talk to your class, kind of have a career day. Something else you could do, especially with slightly older kids maybe, is take time to simulate, like especially in light of COVID. All these kids know about COVID. Simulate a hospital environment. What jobs are in a hospital? Assign each kid a job beyond just your typical doctors and nurses. Assign a kid to be the health services manager who's going to coordinate everybody and hire everybody. Assign a kid to be the security analyst who's in charge of the hospital's all of their internet. and they're, because you bill on the internet and you get labs sent over the internet and all sorts of things. And so kind of give kids ideas beyond the typical, so that maybe you can plant a seed for them as they get older. So I think we need to be cognizant of the types of kids that we have in our classrooms, especially the minorities and then our girls, and try and really think about, be intentional about what careers we talk about. And then as we are learning different things, tie it into a career. Like something else, like with the security analyst, is you can also teach kids basic coding, even if you yourself know nothing about coding, which that would be me. There are lots of programs and curriculums out there where kids can play games and learn a little bit about coding. It may plant a seed, and they may discover, oh my gosh, I like it, or I'm really good at organizing people, or I'm really interested in how the body works. So then that could lead into more of a medical career. So as teachers, I think we can have a lot of influence and maybe plant some seeds in these kids' minds for future career possibilities.